second half of an interview with Natalie Roles.
That's pretty excitable, isn't it?
Ooh. Well, the Podsterons have given us their suggestions for Space 1999's 50th anniversary.
And we'll be watching the second part of a Dick Spanner adventure in the Randomiser.
Bizarre.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I was just sending a message to #MummyA.
It wasn't about me, was it?
No, she was just testing her new mobile phone.
Oh. All good?
That's the sort of insight you get into the world of Anderson on this podcast.
I mean, really, we should
We
say
can all
that for
phone up
Gerry
our
An-
mummies and
Yes,
see
should say
how
it
they're
for the
doing.
news section, really, shouldn't
Well, I'll repeat it in the news. She may send me another message then, confirming the receipt and everything.
Yeah,
so.
good. Look
Yeah.
forward to that. Here we are. It's Pod 331 of the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
331, yeah.
Do you remember a few weeks ago, Jamie, you asked our lovely Podsterons to give us some ideas on how they might wish to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Space 1999
I
next
did
year?
that, yes. And they did probably respond.
Yes. Do you want to read out some comments that we had on our YouTube channel?
Yes,
Some
sure.
nice ideas there, I think. Chris, what do you think of these?
Christopher Burns, 2077, writing from the future, says, could we have a short Space 1999 animation? You could probably produce a 4-minute short within a year.
Oh, yeah. You probably could,
It's a very specific number of minutes
4
there.
minutes.
I would love to do an animation, but I think
What's
that is
this like?
outside of license.
South
and-
Park cutout style characters on Moonbase.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
work.
So you mean it's tricky using the main cast, I guess?
Yeah, there's all
Licenses
sorts of
and
rights
so on.
issues, and it's a real pain. But maybe.
Would you be able to use a story featuring previously unseen characters, maybe? Little side story?
Possibly.
Could-
Again, licensing
yeah.
is tricky.
Lovely idea, though, isn't it? A little animation. That'd be.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the sort of Star Trek animated series,
Yep.
which is fantastic.
Well, it's on the list as a
Yeah,
maybe, but
yeah.
very tricky.
Okay.
Equally as tricky, could we get Space 1999 but using Supermarination? If possible, eagles blowing up, please, to the original voice track. Very, very, very unlikely. In fact, I would say impossible.
Yeah, again, nice idea.
But we've got to live within the worlds of realism here. Space 1999 updated special effects.
Right.
That's an interesting one. Do they need
Exciting.
updating?
I was
I
thinking.
don't know, because it's not like with the original Star Trek when you look at them and think, okay, they are the original, but they're also very much of their time. The
Yes.
1999 ones, for the most part, are
Pretty
timeless.
good.
Stand up.
There is a few on the Super Space Theatre Blu-ray release. I remember there's a CGI replacement eagle for the flat cardboard one that's shot side on and looks really terrible. There's some nice stuff in there, but I don't know if it needs it necessarily.
That's right.
It's always nice as an alternative.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, tricky. And limited edition eagle neck chain. I mean,
Oh,
that's
wow.
very specific.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Or a little pin badge or
or a
something.
moon neck chain.
Yes. I mean, those are all suggestions.
They are
Thank
suggestions,
you.
which is what you asked for. You didn't ask for good suggestions. Now,
Right.
actually, to be fair, some of those are rather nice.
Yeah, no, they are nice.
Yeah.
There's other stuff we're looking at, all sorts of things. There's a special eagle thing we're looking at, and some new storytelling that we're looking at, and all
Great.
sorts of stuff. So,
I mean, it sounds like we're straying dangerously into the area of the Gerry Anderson news. So should
Are
we
we?
put both feet in and have some Gerry Anderson news?
I think we probably should.
okay, let's have some Gerry Anderson news.
Yes.
So apart from your mum getting in touch, what else is going on in the Gerry Anderson universe that we should be
just
aware
checking.
of? Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah,
Oh
all
dear.
fine.
Well, the latest in the Mummy A news is that she's upgraded her phone, but she's having problems.
Well, I knew it.
So the new
breaking
phone
news.
Yeah.
and the old phone are both working and not working.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
she's
This is real Anderson news.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
We couldn't
It
get
is.
more Anderson.
No.
it's going to be a bit touch and go.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
in other news,
Oh, yeah.
in or around this week, you will be able to pre-order Project Orca,
Oh.
which is the next story in the
Right.
Stingray Deadly
Yeah.
Uprising
Right.
saga.
Okay. Yeah.
And at the end of this month, you'll be able to pre-order the Comic Anthology Volume 2, which completes the Stingray comics from the past and also completes the Deadly Uprising story with an epic finale written
Wow.
by Ernie Altbacker and drawn by Lee Sullivan.
Amazing. Really?
Yeah.
Incredible. So this second comic anthology has the 80s countdown strips and stuff from the 90s comic as well,
It does
doesn't it?
indeed, yes, to complete your collection as well as the new stories in there. Also, I should say that Bob Ayres' book Project Orca, which is the second novella in that sequence. So we've got Titanic and Stratagem, Comic Anthology Volume 1, Project Orca, and then Comic Anthology Volume 2. Bob Ayres' book starts with the line, Stingray was finished. Which is such a great opening to a Stingray story.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. That's exciting. It's got a lovely cover, perfect pairing with Titanic and Stratagem, obviously. And you will also see in this period some more Marine Minutes being released,
Yeah.
broadening
Great.
the 60th anniversary narrative.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already dived into Deadly Uprising, now is your time to
And
do
we've
so.
also got audiobook versions of both novels. coming
Yes,
soon-ish.
both read by Wayne Forrester.
Yeah, of course.
Titanic and Stratagem audio should be live by now, and Orca to follow. So there's so much coming, and also the Stingray Technical Operations Manual, which is coming
Yes.
very, very soon, likely to be available for pre-order this month.
Right. There.
Yeah,
There we go.
We heard it definitively.
This month.
This month.
This month.
Likely.
Being October, yes,
Yes.
that is right. Yes, it is right.
Okay,
It's
it's
that,
right.
and there'll be a special edition, limited. I don't know how many units, with all sorts of extra goodies in there.
Amazing.
So PWOR, standby for action, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. There.
Or PWOR, as we heard.
PWOR.
in the Stingray episode a couple of years ago.
Yeah, proceeding with orders received. Very strange. So there you go. It's very, very Stingray heavy this week, but why
Yeah.
not?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's good.
How's that?
Well,
Perfect.
I've got a little addition to make to that, if,
Oh,
I,
do
if
you?
I may.
If you might be so bold.
Well,
We don't know
you
this
may
yet.
remember a few months ago at this point, I mentioned YouTube channel,
Yes.
Alexa Chipman's
did.
lovely reviews
Yeah.
of UFO in 1999 and various others. I'd like to highlight another YouTuber this week, if I may. This is another internet reviewer by the name of Stam Fine. I don't know if you're familiar with his
Yeah,
work at
Stam
all.
Fine,
I'm
yes.
not.
Yes,
Okay.
he reviews a lot of old TV shows and films, including fairly mainstream stuff like Star Trek and Doctor Who, Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, UFO, and now, most recently, he's reviewed Space 1999.
Oh,
Yes.
what do
okay.
you generally think of them?
I don't know, because at the time of this recording, I haven't actually watched his Space
Fair
1999 review,
All right.
but the Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, and UFO ones are generally pretty positive. Except
great.
for when it comes to Alan Tracy.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
dear.
But
Really?
the channel is a
unfortunate.
lovely mix generally, because you get that mainstream stuff, but then he also reviews things like, for instance, Salvage One. Have you ever heard of Salvage One?
No.
I had never heard of Salvage One.
Salvage
But I
One.
watched the review and it was thoroughly enjoyable. So yeah, even if you know sci-fi shows, there'll be something on that channel to entertain and amuse you.
Very good.
Very
I
informative.
wonder what he'll think of Space Precinct.
Well, I'm sure we'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
It's got to do the protectors
We
first.
can send him a copy of the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Great.
Why not?
Bring it on. Right, there you go. Stingray recommendation. That'll do for this week's Gerry Anderson News.
No, Chris, it's not good enough.
I always know it's coming.
He's
And
dry.
Yeah.
He's dried up.
Newsy news, 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 newsy news, 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 news,
Lamb
news,
Castle.
news,
Oh,
newsy,
God,
news,
I don't even recognise them.
Newsy news, news.
They're beautifully
Newsy
done.
news,
Beautifully done.
news, news,
He's still going.
I know.
Can you turn his mic off?
Quick. Second part of my interview with Natalie Roles. Now.
The taunt. Ah, nightmares. Oh, no. That is you. He's really scary.
Now,
The hands. I knew it was you.
Natalie Roles, welcome back to the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Thank you for having me back.
A little blast of what I consider to be your theme tune.
Yeah.
Why not?
Chloe Vincent's theme tune. I love it.
Do you remember at the beginning of the classic episode Predator and Prey, having to, I think what they used to do was, because you were dancing on the podium, they would play a little bit of that music to make sure that everyone was swaying in the right rhythm.
And
then
then
they would
cut.
it.
And then you just hear the feet.
Yeah, because
Tapping
you
away.
have to carry on.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a memory I've
That's
forgotten.
so weird. So you had a whole room of people. There must have been, what, 30 or 40 extras just doing this.
Silent disco.
Yes, silent disco.
Before the time.
Yeah,
That
typical
was
Gerry
it.
Anderson, you see, ahead of the
He
times.
was ahead of the time.
That's right.
He was ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Now, you're known to us in the Gerry Anderson world, of course, as Chloe Vincent from Predator and Prey. Space Precinct, celebrating its 30th anniversary.
Insane.
Is it nice to be part of a little niche of a corner of the sci-fi universe that people still watch and appreciate?
Absolutely. That's like an honour. Sci-fi world.
And do you get it from anything else? Obviously, your time on the bill that we'll talk about this week. Do you get many people recognising you from that still?
Do people recognise
Yeah.
me? Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, what's that like?
Mostly okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
People do get confused, which I find really funny, that they think that you really are that person.
Yes.
So, yeah, a few little supermarket trolley bashers, excuse me, I know who you are,
Right.
and move out the way sort of thing.
Odd.
But mostly, the weirdest one was I was in Sri Lanka in the tea gardens. If anyone's done that little tour up in the tea gardens, have you done
lovely,
it?
yes.
And you're sitting there going, this is incredible. And
Yeah.
someone recognised me, and I was just like, this is bizarre in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. It is funny
Yeah.
that people thinking you are
That
someone else
character.
or that character. I once worked with, do you remember Grange Hill in the 70s? Do you remember Bullet Baxter? He was the PE teacher. Michael Cronin was the actor's name.
Yeah.
And I once worked
vaguely.
with him, and he said people would always mistake him for their PE teacher.
See?
They would say, "Oh, Mr. Baxter, yeah, you taught me PE at school."
Yeah, there's a...
And then you'd have to
that's-
have the whole conversation. No, I played a PE teacher, in
Yeah.
Grange Hill. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, and then other people, a little bit like me, like when I saw Ted Shackleton in
yeah.
the makeup chair, and
Yeah,
you go a little bit
yeah.
wobbly.
Yes.
People are like that as well, which
Yes.
is really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So let's talk about the bill then, shall we? A big part of your career, and how did that come about? Do you remember the early days, auditions, scripts coming through the door, and so on?
I was. I think I'd done 2 previous guest artists. A few years prior.
Yeah.
So to go back and be asked to play a regular was, it was an honour.
Yeah.
I think we're all just so grateful, aren't we, that
I
someone
know, it's
wants you for
terrible,
a
isn't
job.
it? Absolutely.
It's like, oh, thank you.
Especially if it's a long job. It's like...
Yeah, and you never know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
So the fact the writers, they really enjoyed writing a manipulative,
Yeah.
policewoman.
Yeah.
So maybe Chloe would have been a much nicer person.
Yeah, maybe. We'll never know.
We will never know.
So how long was your initial period set to be on the bill? Do you remember? Did you...
I think it's every 6 months they renew,
Yeah.
so you could be out.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Right.
yeah,
And
so
you-
mostly it was it was an ongoing
Yeah.
work. It was ongoing work, but like you said before, it's like rep.
Yes.
There's a steady flow of people in and out, so
Yeah.
the respect goes to all the visiting roles because they're the ones that are on the words.
Yes.
They've not just done a night
Yeah.
shoot or whatever. So there's a big camaraderie around that.
Did you
Yeah.
find it? Now, well, I sort of played regular roles and things, and it's quite nice when the shoe is on the other foot, and you're welcoming guest actors in for the week, and you're there next week or the week after, the week after, the week after. That's quite a privileged position,
No,
isn't
it's
it?
a really, it was a great show to be part of.
Yeah.
As was, I'm sure, for you, being in this show as a regular.
Don't like to talk about it, but yeah.
You should talk
Yeah,
about
I should talk about it more. You're right.
I'll interview you next time.
Great. Okay, we've spoken enough about the bill. Let's have a quick look at you in action, shall we?
You're late.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Childminder's car wouldn't start.
No, I mean you're late.
Yeah. Sorry, Gov. I had to stop off at the Arbo and brief Susie on the way.
We're working on this case together. You're supposed to keep me informed.
I said I'm sorry, Gov.
Have a word in my office, Debbie.
I wonder what just happened there. Oh, Jack Meadows.
Look, I think we should talk about last night.
Yeah. Last night.
What happened between us? I need to know if there's a problem.
Why should there be a problem? Because I asked you to leave afterwards. It's only because Andrew was playing up.
So you don't think it was a mistake?
No.
Good. I'm glad.
The drama, honestly. I've never known
She was
anything
a
like
minx,
it.
wasn't
Wow.
she? What a minx.
I think that might have been your last episode.
I recognised the shirt, and I recognised that being, and the leather jacket
Yeah.
being the last, drive away
Yeah.
into the sunset moment and
How-
raising my kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
yeah.
did you cope with that? I mean, how does that feel, shooting those final scenes?
Mixed bag. I was really tired. I should have asked for a sabbatical. In hindsight, but hey, that's life, isn't
Yeah.
it? It was nearly 5 years, and you only have, it was relentless. I loved it, but I was also weirdly, I wanted a kid as well. You can't do those things when
God,
you're, 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a strange one because
Yeah.
it was sad, and you make so many friends for life in a job like that. You have a connection. Like we had a connection on Space Precinct.
Very briefly, in case my wife is watching. And it was contractual.
It was.
What? Now, here's a deep question. Did you learn anything about yourself in those 5 years as an actor or as a person? About, I don't know, resilience or stamina or anything like that?
It's a pretty grueling timetable schedule. So, I think you feel like you can take on the world after something like that, because it is. You're in a bubble, a great bubble, and you want the next bubble.
Yeah.
And part of you feels that you're ready to jump ship and find that next big, long-running...
Yes. Because although the work must be amazing, of course, to have that long period of work, it's also quite constraining in terms of you as an actor and developing as an actor and having other experiences, isn't it?
I did feel that it was time. Again, she had a great run, Debbie.
Yeah.
And luckily, lots of people loved her. So, it was such a great experience.
But, I mean, Natalie, imagine being part of a show decades ago and then decades later making a podcast about it. That'd be a crazy idea, wouldn't it? Let's say, for example, I was in a Gerry Anderson show, ended up on the Gerry Anderson podcast. Let's say you were in The Bill and ended up making The Bill podcast.
I wonder where this is
That'd
going.
be weird, wouldn't it? But you've done just that. Tell us about the podcast and how that came about. Whose idea was it, and how does that work?
Well, the producer, Mr. Oliver Crocker, I met him at one of the fan reunions.
Right.
So I met him there, and then I went on as a guest.
Yeah.
And then someone else... it just evolved into that. So it was a really lovely way to reconnect with like we're doing, reconnecting and having a memory for what you've done. And people have past and present moved on to, they're not here anymore. Remembering them. So iconic work, people, and just such a part of history like this was. It's the same thing. So reliving the historical side of it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's gone forever, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's momentary,
it's
it's gone.
so we're so lucky we can do this.
Yeah.
Because you look back at this time when this, how far we've come. And we're keeping the fans happy too.
Well, we're trying our best, aren't we? It's true. I want to listen to a clip of the Bill podcast, so may we?
Absolutely.
Let's have a little drop into this
Where
thing.
are you going? It's time to meet the governor. You are listening to the Bill podcast with me, Natalie Roles.
There she is.
It's really good, and it looks great. It's really well directed. The acting's really, really good. And people keep telling me how good it is.
It was brilliant. And someone, I think it was Pal Aaron that I spoke to recently, like when you look back at it now, like you've just said, you look at it now and it doesn't really age. It's like it's so current in the way it was shot, in the way it was put together as a show, and that's all down to you.
We transformed the look of it. I mean, the story about we transformed the look of it. And obviously, we painted the sets. They were, as you know, all grey. So we painted them different colours. But also, we got this DOP in and said to him, like, we'll give you 6 months to work out, look at the bill. And he came on day 2 and said, you don't need me for 6 months. There's this thing called colour saturation, which now I know about, and then I didn't. And he said, there's like the maximum realised and the minimum. I said, don't tell me. We're on the minimum, aren't we? He said, yeah. I said, put it on the maximum. So then we did this tape where we had you guys in some scenes in front of the new painted sets with the colour saturation turned up and showed it to ITV, who thought we spent a fortune.
Interesting, because the bill went through several kind of iterations, didn't it? Several different versions, really. Started as a sort of a 1 hour, quite a dark drama, I remember, in the early days, and then transformed it a couple of times into other things.
It manoeuvred around so many bends and twists, and whoever was brought in to, it was ratings at the end of the day. That's what it was about. So they had to keep the audience in the story and not be swayed. I mean, he was not liked by many people, but I think once hearing him and actually hearing what he did do, some people are on the fence still.
Okay.
But it was a different era.
Yeah.
You had to change with the times. I was brought in in the Michael Chapman era, and then he came in, Paul, and just caused the fire, and bang, we were off into the next, his time.
Yeah.
But how wonderful is that? Like, we're sat here talking about this, it was a great opportunity for him to do what he was doing at his point in his career, and for us to be part of that. So, yeah.
Do you like looking back, as we're doing today and as you do on the podcast?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Looking back from the position you're in now is quite interesting, isn't it? To see, how far you've come and what you've achieved in those intervening years.
Yeah, it's nice, actually.
Yeah.
I think we're really lucky as actors, because you do see, like, I mean, look, I look 11.
Bless.
No,
I know.
we look really
Yeah,
old,
I know.
don't
Well,
we?
I didn't look particularly honest in my part, but interestingly, because I was made up, obviously, in all that old age makeup. It'd be interesting to see if I do look that old, when I'm at 90, if I look like him.
I really hope not.
I hope not too. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But just going back to your mask, sorry. Your mask was, how difficult that must have been, and I'm, in awe of that. I remember watching Planet of the Apes. When you look back and go, how did they do those things?
Yes, right.
You didn't have the lines, but you still had to. Create an emotion, and you even did that with the mouth thing when you at the end. You see.
Do you know how I did that? Because I'm a genius.
You are.
I'm a bona fide acting genius.
Clever.
Yeah.
What have we got here?
More questions
Pete
from our lunchbox.
Johnson. Pete Johnson, thank you. You played DS Debbie McAllister in the bill, and now present a podcast all about it.
Well, there we go. That's a very timely question.
It was so timely.
Yes.
Is it fun reliving old memories? That's
exactly
what
I've just
said.
asked you.
Yes, is the answer to that, because if we didn't have these moments, I would never remember.
Do you find it easy to find guests to come and talk with you on the podcast?
There's so many people
there
to
must
speak
be.
to.
Yeah.
Because just going behind the scenes, there was an art director that I've just done a chat with, sitting in the gardens on a summer's day, and just having a really lovely moment of, what she did as an art director. Most people don't know.
Absolutely.
That handing me or someone something, or creating an atmosphere behind, like you've done here. It's like, that's a job.
Yeah.
People get paid for that. So. And there was something I wanted to do, like my son's growing up and they've got no idea what they want to do. So these are educational as well. So that's important.
Absolutely right, yeah.
Isn't
That's
it?
good, yeah.
Neil Owen, thank
yes.
you. Hi, Natalie. Do you prefer filming or podcasting?
Oh,
it's a good question.
so I'm guessing when you podcast, you do that from home? You're sort of dialing into people, or?
Yes, we do all of that. We dial in. That all came out after COVID, didn't it? So it gave us something to do.
It did, that's right.
As well as cooking endlessly.
Yes.
And I didn't turn into a podcaster about food.
Right.
I prefer filming, I think. I don't know. They're all parts of creativity. If my agent's watching, I would like some more filming work, please. No, they're in their own way. They're interesting. So, good question.
Yeah, good answer.
Thank you. Rebecca Barden. What's been a career highlight, lowlight? Oh dear.
Highlight and lowlight.
This is a highlight.
Well, that's very
Gerry
kind of you to say.
Anderson, come on.
Yeah, you don't have to say Space Precinct, but what has been the
What's
highlight?
the highlight?
I mean, would it be that long stretch on the bill, or would it be a certain
so many
week shooting a
highlights.
commercial somewhere lovely, or
Yeah,
would it be touring, or
a highlight?
Yeah.
You know, when you get one of those jobs that take you off to... I didn't ever go to the Caribbean, but Mallorca was pretty good.
That's all right.
A week.
Lovely.
5 days by the pool and then 2 days filming. That was
Perfect.
a bit of a highlight.
Great.
Low light, being cut.
Being cut.
In
We've all
Space
been there.
Precinct.
Ah, well, yes, I see.
After 4 seconds.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, being dubbed on Space Precinct. Steve Bushell.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Natalie. You certainly have had a lot of roles. Like the pun.
I see what
like
you did
the
there.
pun.
I bet that's the first time you've heard that.
Did you know your talents would only be needed for 1 episode, but at least you got to play alongside a legendary actor? Was that you?
I have no idea who he means.
Do you know what? It was a great time, and I'm glad we've revisited because you don't often remember these things. The 90s was a haze.
I know.
In so many ways.
Yeah, that's right. It really
Hey,
was.
that rhymed.
It does. It's very clever. You should be a poet as well as a podcaster, not an actor.
Yeah, no, it was... I think we're really lucky. We've got good jobs. Haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you got coming up? Anything you can tell us about that you're working on currently or have got coming up in the near future?
Got to dash, actually.
Right.
I'm rehearsing a play.
Are you now?
It's actually been written. It's a comedy sitcom.
Yeah.
And we're hearing it out loud for the first time with an audience.
Great.
Gareth Strachan. He's good.
Okay.
Really very nice. So if we can film that as a pilot, you never know, that might happen.
Brilliant.
And I'm also filming with Greg Donaldson. I don't know if anyone
Right.
knows that name. Fellow Bill actor, but he was pre my time. I used to fancy him.
Okay.
Anyway, we're filming a short film next week.
Ah, great.
God, I hope he doesn't see this before then. He won't, will he?
Not before next week, no.
That was really
But I'll
funny.
make sure that I email him and let him know when it goes live.
That's
Yeah.
nice. So
Yeah.
it's nice stuff. And
Yeah.
audio work. I love the audio work.
Mm-hmm.
So bits and bobs
Yeah.
coming in on that as well. So
Great.
yeah.
Okay.
It's nice times. It would be nice to have a repeat of 95 when it was
Yeah.
ping, pang, bong, bang,
Yeah.
doing this, doing that. And Barbara, I'm looking at your beautiful face. She
there she
was
is. There's your role model.
iconic.
Yeah.
She made, I mean, she had a quality about her. She had that film star thing.
Absolutely.
Didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She was,
Both
she
of
was
them.
one of my top ladies.
Yeah, I can imagine. And
Yeah.
finally, where can we find you on social media? Do you do any of that? Any Xing or Facebooking
You're
or
good at this,
Instagramming?
aren't you?
Well,
If
you
I
know.
could remember, I think
Yes.
it's Natalie Roles Act on
It is
X.
indeed, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm not too sure.
Well, okay, but there's one to be going on
You
with.
can go with that one, and
Yeah.
also on Instagram, real Natalie Roles
Well done.
on Instagram.
Great.
I think they're the only two I really
Fine.
use. I
That'll
think
do.
Facebook has become a friends and family, if
Yeah.
anyone remembers friends and
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
agree.
really do that.
Great.
So there you go.
Now, just before you leave, Natalie, I've had a crazy idea. How about you and me reenact the opening scenes to Predator and Prey outside in the corridor of the Moxie Hotel in Slough?
Can I shoot you?
Go
Can I
on, then.
kill you?
Come on.
Oh, it's you, Donna. My shot, Richard.
Thank you so much to Natalie Roles for being our guest for the last
Natalie.
2 weeks.
That was lovely.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Nice little reunion.
Yeah.
Did you like our reenactment of the opening scene to Predator and Prey that we
Wow.
restaged here in the corridors of the Moxie?
I mean, it felt like it had a similar budget to what we've seen from the Space Precinct
How
Series 2
Dare
attempt.
you? We put a lot of effort into that.
I could see the effort.
I brought my gun and everything.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
You did very well. Well done.
Yes.
Well done, both of you.
Thanks. I mean, took some fun pictures as well, recreating that classic, iconic moment of Kamada standing behind.
A lot of people looking at us wondering what on earth we were doing. You say, it's all right. You killed her.
Yeah.
You haven't changed a
years ago.
bit anyway. So.
Anyway, join us next week for the our next interview. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Kieran Shah. A stuntman, actor. And lately, I think he's been decorated an MBE for his services.
I think he's been a decorator.
Yes.
Services to cinema.
But what's
Amazing.
his Anderson connection?
Well, again, he was in Space Precinct.
Oh, another one of
I
Richard's
know.
Mates podcast.
No, I've not
He
seen
was
him for 30
playing
years.
lots of little Tarn girls, wasn't he?
Yes,
Space
that's right.
Precinct.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Famously the smallest stuntman in the world.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
He's
good to have Kieran
played
along.
Superman, he's
Yes.
played Miss Piggy,
Yeah.
and he's played others, I would
Yeah.
expect.
David Coulter's daughter.
David Coulter's daughter, yeah.
So join us
Wow.
for that. But in the meantime, shall we open the door and let in the Podsterons and we can read out some of their emails?
I think we should. I'd love that.
Come on in. Come on.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Chris, over to you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jamie, Richard, Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
A couple of unrelated questions have been rattling around in my head over the last couple of weeks.
Unrelated to what?
To this or to each other?
I don't know. So I thought I'd get in touch and commit them to email.
Good idea.
Firstly, with Standby for Action 2 still ringing in my ears, and Chris's interview about his new Stingray novel, it got me thinking, Chris, when you were writing the book, did you imagine what Barry Gray pieces, motifs, etc. would hypothetically accompany the story and for what parts of it? No spoilers, obviously. Secondly, it was mentioned on a podcast many moon bases ago that the model company Master Models in Slough made many of the hero craft for AP Films and Century 21 productions.
Oh, yes.
And there is archive footage as such with some of the Thunderbirds and Max Jet Car. We played that in here, didn't we?
We did.
Yes. I was wondering if it is known why Master Models were subcontracted to do this in favour of Derek Meddings et al. Doing the work themselves. Could it have been expertise with fiberglass moulding, perhaps? Keep podding, PWOR, FAB, SIGWIN, doesn't say SPA, Paul Davis.
Great question,
Thanks,
Paul.
Paul.
Do we
Yes.
know why that happened? Why it went to Master Models?
No idea.
No.
No. Maybe they were just too busy blowing up models to
Yeah.
build models.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. And did you have those Barry Gray tunes in your head as you wrote?
Yes.
Please tell me you
Because
listened to a playlist of Barry Gray stuff as you were writing.
I was often listening to the Stingray soundtrack
Yeah.
as I
Yes.
wrote that. Yes,
Isn't
absolutely.
that so helpful?
It is, yeah.
I've done that as well. I normally, if I'm writing something for an existing show, I have it playing
Yeah.
in the background just to absorb the
Yeah.
aura.
And I'm quite proud of some of the cliffhangers at the end of certain chapters. And there's one I remember where Stingray is surrounded and Phones says something like, Troy, they've got us cold. And Troy goes, yeah, Phones, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I could just hear da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's like, got it, nailed it. That's fine.
Right, that's
Moving
really
on.
good.
Yes.
Nice. Hi, Chris and Richard and Jamie.
I
Okay.
notice I'm on the top line and you're on the next one down.
I've got your novel Titanicum Stratagem ordered.
Good.
I have to say, the upcoming Stingray comic anthologies sound very exciting. I think I found my Christmas presents already.
Oh, yes.
This is from Hannah, who says, although I'm a bit uncertain about the lack of storage space that I'm facing right now, I hope those 2 comic books are not too big.
Well, if you imagine the previous ones, they're possibly slightly bigger.
quite big,
They're
yes.
quite chunky.
But I want to see what new Stingray stories you've made, and it's a chance for me to see some TV21 stories. The only comics I grew up with was the Thunderbirds collection in the 2000s, so it's an opportunity for me to see how it was such a big hit. I am getting a little confused about something, says Hannah.
Uh-oh.
The next novel, Project Orca, follows after Comic Volume 1 and leads up to Volume 2? Or
Yes.
does Comic 1 follow up to Volume 2? Sorry to confuse you two. PWR from Hannah. It's the first of those, isn't
Absolutely
it?
fine. So, yes, it goes novel, anthology, novel, anthology.
Ah, there you go. That's
Just
pretty
think
easy.
Nana.
That's
Right.
nice. But
And
obviously,
A&A.
a lot of the old comic strips in there were self-contained anyways. So
Yes.
it's the few new ones that you need to worry about.
And if people are a little daunted about having to buy everything,
You don't have to.
They're pretty standalone, aren't they?
Very much so, yes. Yeah. If you want to just read Titanic and Stratagem,
Yeah.
Chris would be thrilled, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to just get one anthology or both anthologies,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you want to get the full lot, then
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Audios will be available of the novels, so you don't have to have the physical book. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
But
just enjoy whatever you like.
And as Hannah says, Christmas is coming up, so
Yeah.
it'd be a great thing for the Christmas list, won't it?
Oh, yes,
To
very
complete
much
the
so.
collection if you haven't got everything.
Yep.
Very nice. And one there for you, Jamie, I think.
Oh gosh, right. Stephen,
Yes.
Stephen Height.
Oh, yes.
Great name. My brother-in-law introduced me recently to a 60s English psychedelic pop band that I've never heard of before, named Rainbow Folly.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
No.
It's Spectrum Agent,
Rainbow Folly.
on the case.
While checking out their music and reading up on the band's history, I discovered that Rainbow Folly's drummer, Stuart Osborne, also worked as a prop maker on Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet and Joe 90. Okay.
Great.
One particular job that is documented on the Thunderbirds wiki site is that he helped furnish the Crichton Ward Manor.
Well.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I wondered if Stuart might be considered as a guest on a future podcast to talk about his work with Century 21 and his time in the band.
Okay.
If he can be tracked down.
Yeah.
Thanks as always for the brilliant podcast. Always a highlight of my week. Oh, thanks.
What,
Stephen.
this?
Best wishes from Stephen. Yeah. Apparently so. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I suppose.
So is
Takes all
Stuart,
sorts.
is Stuart Osborne a name you were familiar with?
Nope.
No, I wasn't either.
No idea.
Nice one. It's a good lead, though. Thanks, Stephen. We'll look into that.
Yes. Richard will get onto that immediately.
As soon as I recover.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely. It's interesting, isn't this crossover between the worlds of music and the worlds of Gerry Anderson?
Yeah.
We had Rodney Matthews, who is in a band, of course.
Yes.
And various other people. I think there was a story about... there was a Burt Whedon story, I remember. There was a Fab Fact.
Yeah, and Vic Helms and others.
Yeah.
We've had lots of musicians.
Animal from the Muppets. His drummer, Ronnie Verrill, was the drummer on a lot of the Andersons, including Space 1999 Series 2. We know for definite that's Animal
Love
on
it.
the drums.
Ah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
There you
really
go.
nice. Yeah, great. Keep them coming in. I say every week because we love to read out your emails, podcast@gerryanderson.com. Also, don't forget you can comment beneath this YouTube video as well and tell us your thoughts.
Please do.
And also, I haven't said this for a while, subscribe, rate, review and share.
Because we're on a lot of platforms.
We are now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Every conceivable platform where we exist.
Yeah, exactly. Now, last week we asked Natalie Roles to press the big red button, and she chose for us, or rather the randomiser chose for us, the first part of a Dick Spanner adventure.
Yes.
And now we've got to sit
We're
through the
not
second
going to
part.
get Natalie to press the button again because...
Oh, can we do it anyway? I mean...
Well, let's try and choose something else.
Yeah.
No, come on, you know the rules. We've got to watch the second part of Dick Spanner, The Case of the Maltese Parrot. Ready? Specs on.
Let's hope it's not another dumb move.
Right.
Here we go again.
Here we are again.
And a whole week has passed. Do we remember what happened?
There were a lot of gags.
A lot of gags.
So he was in pursuit of something, the parrot.
The parrot,
and he
yes.
came across a lady and got pushed off a couple of things.
Yes.
And
There was jam. Lots of jam.
was
Lots
jam.
of jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How did we do?
I guess it's
pretty good
all right,
recap.
Yeah. So
I've been hired to find
he's
gonna give us a
he's gonna
recap
recap it
anyway.
now.
Oh, good. Thanks, Shane.
starting to roll when I called in on Gloria Vamp.
Yeah.
Then I was in trouble
That's
again.
nice.
George Lifeboat and Edward G. Hobson put the finger
I love the likeness on Hobson. That's really good.
on his roof. Schmucked the knife.
Oh, it's a very quick recap.
That's when I took another dive.
Right.
So we can show the fall in full.
What's
Yeah.
with Schmuck the Knife's face?
Is it Phantom of the Opera?
That's from the opera reference. I don't know why.
Ah,
Oh, gosh.
Right.
Wrong number laundry. We can't make those jokes these days.
again, it was of its time.
Yes.
We're starching those shirts.
It wasn't right then.
They were laundering.
But you have to remember that the people who were making this show were very, very drunk.
Yes.
Foaming at the mouth. I thought about trying to soft soap him, but I knew it wouldn't wash. I could see these animals might give me trouble.
All right.
Oh, wow.
That's
There we
it. Easy.
Good. Easy.
Move on.
The Gerry Anderson podcast does not endorse taking a hammer to the faces of Asian
Anyone.
stereotypes. Oh, anyone indeed.
No.
Fast.
Well,
May South, as she now called herself,
Right.
had found us a new place to stay. It was nothing like my office, and it had one drawback. Noisy neighbors in the pad above.
Clever.
Wow. Of course, yeah.
Now, what the hell did they do up there?
Lamb
I
choppers.
see.
yes.
Makes sense.
I was in bad shape. So she'd broken out my old fighting red leotard. I told her if my day worked out, I'd work out later.
Would he fit into a leotard?
No, I don't want to see Spanner in a leotard, to be honest. Wonder what's under that jacket.
Yeah.
Get back out on the mean streets.
That's sweet. Haircuts, German barber. Very good, very good.
Blood on the window.
Yes.
It was a note wrapped in a rug. It
Right.
said, a group of talls would like to meet with you. Signed, Johnny Wisefella. P.S. Follow the call of the jungle.
So is it Johnny Weissmuller who was
That's right.
Tarzan?
That's it.
We need to publish an accompanying book for all of these,
Yeah.
explaining all of these jokes.
I can sense a Secrets of Dick Spanner book coming up.
Yeah, well,
Good luck, Chris.
oh, thank you.
He was coming.
Guaranteed to drive me insane.
Oops.
It was Gloria Vamp's place of residence.
There's something about the faces of the human characters and the nonsense speech, which is quite creepy. And I remember now creeping me out as a child, but kind of liking it.
Yeah, I do remember claymation, and especially bad claymation, I found quite creepy. Like one of the things I found very creepy as a kid was the video for Reet Petite.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because his face is all
Yeah.
over the place,
That's
and I found
right.
that unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember him? Lart Cable, Johnny Wisefella, Douglas Sandbanks Jr., Tony Suss. They were all here. The guy on the end told me, get off my milk and eat my horse. How stupid can you get? But nobody argues with John Rain. They told me the Smalls were taking over Movie City. Eric Von Strongbow was the mastermind. The one chance to stop him was the Maltese parrot. The bird held a secret.
I wonder if you get this flickering through on quality control now these days.
Yes.
As we've got some great stills of this section.
Yes.
Hell's bells. Now I was jammed in a jumbo jet.
Yes.
Oh,
Strawberry
more jam. Is this era of Hollywood and classic movies, is this something either of you are interested in?
No, not
No.
really.
No.
No, I mean, I know enough to recognise, most of the names that they're riffing on here.
Because someone working on this had to be a real movie buff.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that's Terry and Tony Barwick, was it? It's reminiscent of a Joe 90 set there.
Yeah.
Jam factory. I found myself in the corner of Sunrise and Grape.
He's been back there before. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was there in the last
Sunset
episode.
Vine, yeah.
Hey, one of the all-time biggies. Remember the end when the hero says, Franklin, my dear, I don't care if you are a man. They just don't write stuff that good today. It was late.
An aerosol, sprayed with an aerosol. Nice, nice.
I see.
Some little squirt was giving me lip. I figured that covered it.
I mean, some of these things just happen for the sake of a gag, don't they?
Yes, they do.
I say some.
Change at the Brown Trilby. To get into the bar.
I wonder if possibly we would be enjoying this more if we were as drunk as the people who made it.
Well, yes, or if we were students and it was a Sunday morning or
Yeah.
whatever it was
Yeah.
shown.
Which is not to say I'm not enjoying it, because I always
Yes,
love this.
I feel terrible like we're being very down on Dick Spanner.
Yeah.
It's just in this format, which makes it hard work when it really shouldn't be.
What the goons didn't realize, under the coat, I was walking on my knees. The place was jumping. It was a wild scene. Edward G. Hobson and George Lifeboat were throwing a party. Through a plate glass window, some crazy cat was doing his thing in the corner. I got the message.
I mean, I hate to ask for any sort of context for this.
Oh, yes.
Where is this set?
This is in the Big Pear, which
Yeah.
is in a parallel universe not far from here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Got it?
Yeah, thanks.
Good.
Maybe now you'd kick the habit. Strawberry vodka.
Nice.
Why not? I told the barman to hit me.
Of course.
Another dumb move. When I came around, I thought I was back in the big...
Oh, the big
I
bear, lovely.
suspect there weren't any women on this crew.
Mum's in the credits.
All right.
But I don't think she was really...
Not on the day-to-day production side.
I don't think she was... There was no script editing from any female. No.
She told me she was leaving. She left it at that. Well, when one door shuts, another door closes. Then I saw it. May had said she'd been given a bird. Could it be Jumpin' Jehoshaphat?
Is it?
The elusive Maltese parrot.
What's up, Dick? What's up, Dick? Nice.
I questioned the feathered freak for over an hour. But this bird was no...
I suppose it must be great to work on a show where you know you can just do anything you want. Nothing is off limits.
Except budget.
Except budget, yeah. But it doesn't seem to have stopped them from doing anything.
No.
I caught up with May at the airport. She was flying back down to the big pair. She changed her dress. Also her mind. Now she wanted to stay. But I told her the plain truth. She had to get on that plane. She had to forget me. Because when you get right down to it, what was really important was her in the future. Anything else didn't amount to a hill of beans. She had to forget me. Forget she ever knew me. I reminded her to remember that. Nothing else amounted to anything when you got right down to it. Forget me. Forget the past. Forget the hill of beans. This could be the start of yet another dumb move.
Big boy.
Thank you.
It was the start of another day.
I reckon that was Willard doing that voice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They probably mixed and matched characters, yeah, whoever's available.
Place. I could see Harry through the window.
Man with a heart of tin. One owner King Kong. I mean...
Coming in through the wall. He said it used to be a speakeasy.
I'm wondering with this character in particular, if any of these humans were based on anyone working on the show, any sort of Anderson legends, essentially.
Oh, quite possibly. Oh, God.
All right. There had to be an easier way to lose height.
Pretty dark.
Louis City had gone crazy. The smalls were in. The talls were out on the seat of their pants. Had me some wheels now, but it was tough going. It was around that time I decided to drop in at Jim's gym. Another dumb move.
But your dad was proud of this?
Oh, you enjoyed it for what it was, yeah. Absolutely.
Shadowboxing.
All ever learned.
Very good.
I figured I'd skip the skipping. The old parallel bars. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, when he did him and Christopher parted ways, they did the deal to keep bits of IP, and Chris kept Terrorhawks, and Dad kept Dick Spanner and Space Police.
Yeah. Wow.
So clearly, you know,
Yeah.
he thought that was the way to do it.
Then I was in trouble.
Oh, is it going to be pulled up to a height? Yeah, there we go.
Of course he is.
I'd been hoisted by my own leotard.
Oh. Now, Adlam still makes that joke now. He did it last Christmas,
Yes.
I swear, for Terry Christmas.
Yeah, we've rumbled him a bit now.
Yeah.
Well, you think he might be regurgitating his own material a bit? Yes.
Just a bit.
Edward G. Hobson and George Lifeboat were throwing questions.
Nearly 40 years on.
Name the 7 smalls. I yelled up, Lumpy, Dumpy, and Humpy. 5 out of 7 wasn't bad going. But they wouldn't buy it. Edward G. started tearing his hair out. George lifeboat flipped. That's when they gave me the chop. It was another heavy case of the drops. I always seemed to lose out on the hand-in-the-pocket deal. But I figured I'd give it one.
I'd like to put this in front of someone who has no knowledge of this, no context for any of it.
Yeah.
Now let's see now. Count to 10.
It is the definitive "this would never be made today" show.
Yes, absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And there
5,
he is.
6.
Aha.
I was getting there. 7, 8. Hey, my lucky number.
Yeah. There's Dad.
Great.
Another dumb move. Why is it yours personally is always the fall guy? Lucky break. The river was dry. I could have drowned here. Then I saw him. Sam Silverwind. One of the all-time great Ivywood producers. I could see he had fallen on hard times. He told me he'd passed a lot of water under the bridge. What could I say? I felt kind of sorry for the old guy, but it was time to move.
That's a nice image.
Yeah, it was actually quite sweet, that walk-off, isn't it?
Theater. Place where the stars left their mark in concrete. They were all here. Snozzle Ferranti had left his nose print. Clara Blow, the original It Girl. And the Invisible Man.
Well, surely he'd still leave an imprint.
Yes. Don't... Are you analysing the jokes in this, which you told Chris off for last week? No.
I left him to it. Stage right. It was late, but I needed a drink.
Of course it
And
is.
a lot of answers. Brum, 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 brum. So I drove down to this strip joint. What else on Sunrise Strip?
Uh-oh.
I parked my hired wheels and I headed on in.
There's a little Slimer there.
There she is.
Hell's bells. Big Bertha was none other than Mae East.
Well, she was May South now.
Oh, she changed her name, didn't she?
Yeah.
Why is she May East again?
Ran into a hill of beans.
Because.
Sorry, I'm doing the logic and Dick
Because.
Spanner thing. Idiot.
That was last week.
Dirty little.
Dirty little.
What the?
I'd seen enough. I made for the bar.
Gosh.
Yes, we do have photos of the full May, don't we?
We do.
Yes.
Or the S, the full frontal May.
Yes.
Shot. How dumb can
The music went a bit wild there as well.
I tell you what, though, if anything's up for a live-action remake,
It's the dramatised version of the making of Dick Spanner, where they're all getting pissed all the
I mean,
time.
the idea of a robotic. I mean, it's a bit Blade Runner, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, we did a version which we pitched around the publishers for a
Yeah,
while, but
yeah.
they didn't bite. So.
Yeah.
I would love to stick with the stop motion. I'd love to just give this to Aardman and say,
Good luck.
Stick with the basic look, but do it in that style.
Yeah.
I told a feathered freak the
Yeah, we need more of a plot
Yes.
now.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Bit.
But I needed to get back out on the streets. I told her the way things were going down, not to wait up.
New exit. Yeah, nice.
Shut it, bird brain.
Is the Maltese parrot meant to be made out of chocolate? Like a Malteser?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I-
I'm not
yeah.
sure. I think it'd be a bit more colourful rather than sort of brown, chocolatey looking. Maybe it's a deliberate.
Could be. We may never know.
No.
It's the show that prompts more questions than answers.
Yeah,
That's true.
nice scoring there.
Well, I can't win them all.
I see.
Makes sense.
O'Grady had me cold. They'd taken me down to the Ivywood station house. I'd been in 100 grill rooms in 100 cities. This one was different. O'Grady looked ready to fry me. He said he'd give me 12 hours to wrap up the case. But first he wanted to see the Maltese parrot. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat.
It's gone.
The bird had flown.
Who would have thunk it?
I asked May if he'd left a forwarding address. She said no, but there was a message. It was written with a quill, and what a stupid way to spell burn. I needed help to nail Eric von Strongbow. So I'd called a meeting of the Talls.
Good way to save money on making the characters by having silhouettes.
Absolutely.
Don't let the Smalls walk all over them. I wasn't about to fall for that old hole-in-the-floor scam twice. Then I took out my personal bowling ball.
I've got a strange... Yeah. I had the image of that. I was seeing it years ago. Something like, something horrible happens.
Right.
I asked her for the whereabouts of Eric von Strongbow. She told me the MGM studio. Metal, Greenberg, Marrow, Gold Lucian Mare. Wow. Me and the Talls would hit the place at dawn.
I can't see anything. Ow!
It was exactly 8 a.m. Yours personally and a group of Talls were about to hit the studios. Eric von Strongbow had just started shooting on the big stage. I told Tony...
Yeah, changing music, that helps.
He was the biggest creep we had among us. I couldn't believe it. They were making Ben-Hur meets Flash Gordon on the Forbidden Planet.
Nice.
Yeah. Watch that.
There's the mashup we wanted.
Yep.
Chariot of Fire there.
Oh, yeah.
Honey Sufts was in trouble. I told the Talls, let's go get him. Hell's bells. The man needed help. His kneecaps were taking a beating. I told Hair Oil Flynn to get over there.
Hair Oil Flynn. Oh.
That's when I caught a rock. Smack on top of the head. Ben Him took off on his...
Ben Him. My favourite joke of the thing, actually. That was great.
Edward G. Hobson.
She.
He said he was the Emperor Ming, see?
She.
From the planet Mongo, see?
She.
I let him have the old 1-3.
Nice.
I do love how particularly zany the conclusions to both of these stories.
Yeah. No, this is bonkers.
It was George Lifeboat. He was playing Flash Gordon.
It's like the setup for each location is the thing that takes so much energy and time. But once they're somewhere and things are happening, it's much more enjoyable for me.
And this level of chaos and anarchy in a stop motion format, is very difficult.
Huge amount of work.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Now, I think we asked Terry about the bizarre voice, and he said that was just on a keyboard or something that they had at the time.
Like a sampler type of thing.
Sampler or something, yeah.
That's when it hit me. I saw the whole scam. Casting Smalls in every part, Eric von Strongbow could use miniature sets.
So Kieran Shah would have been ideal
Absolutely,
for...
yes.
But where was he stashing all
He
the
really
loot?
would.
Getting ready for lunch. I know it's telegram for Mr.
Gary Barrelmaker lassoed a green.
Yep. Mr. Spatter, a telegram for you.
Bizarre.
There it is again.
Yeah.
Telegram for...
The winged freak.
What was this, a dragon now?
Giant bird with a silent P.
That is very good, though.
Yeah.
Who the hell's that?
Telegram for Mr. Spanner.
That's me.
I don't know
What's happening?
happening anymore.
You need a white flag to wave over there,
Yeah.
I think.
I think we have been drinking, you know.
It's a ray gun. But they hadn't been invented yet. Who keeps saying that? It was around that time the roof went up.
Yeah.
Me and Von Strongbow hung around for a little while, but not for long.
Right, straight to prison for him.
The roof was still going up, but I was about to go down.
Surely.
Grabbed by the talons.
I didn't see that coming.
No.
Switzerland. Burn 874226 panned out to be a numbered account in a Swiss bank. It had to be worth millions. But that's another story.
Oh.
Who is it keeps saying that?
So
Wow.
there we go.
Who did keep saying that?
We never know.
No. That's none of our business.
Wow.
So we made it. We've
We
now
did.
covered all of the broadcast spanner. There is still that one more lost episode to do. I think we should look into that.
We should do that.
Should we do that now?
Maybe not right
Not
now.
right now.
No, not for now.
Well. Well, I
There-
enjoyed it.
There must be a medical term for pun exhaustion.
Yes.
I'm suffering from that right now.
Yeah.
An acute
Adlamitis.
case.
Yeah.
Adlamitis.
That's
Yeah.
extraordinary, isn't it? That's
Or Adlam. Adlamy would be an anagram of malady, wouldn't it? That would fit.
I mean,
Yes.
we normally stop and give marks out of 5, don't we?
Yeah.
It's so difficult because it's so different to anything else.
Yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
Anderson canon is full of things that are different. You know, Space 1999 is as different as possible from Stingray, but this is so out there.
It's just,
Yeah.
It is literal madness.
I mean,
and I love it.
I still have a lot of love for Dick Spanner,
Yeah.
regardless of that experience. It should be watched in 5-minute segments,
Yeah.
not in 25-minute blocks.
See, I'm going to counter that by saying, though, I first discovered it on the VHSs when all the episodes of the story were run in one block. I actually prefer to watch it as the 25 minutes. I find just getting 5 minutes.
You're
is
mad.
I mean,
You're mad.
Maybe.
At least you can choose to watch it in either.
Yes.
Go on, Chris. Marks out of 5.
Well, all you can do is compare it against the other Dick Spanner stories.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm inclined to give both of them a sort of somewhere between 3.5 and 4.
Wow.
Yes,
yeah.
I can absolutely admire the invention.
Yes.
And I know, we speak a lot about, they had no budget and so on.
Yep.
And yet they made a thing and got it out there and it found an
Absolutely.
audience.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
people love it. I'm going to go 3.
I'm also sitting with a 3.
Yeah.
That doesn't diminish my fondness or the work and loving bits of it.
Yeah.
But for me, that format is just too much.
Podsterons, was that your first experience of Dick Spanner last week and this week? And let us
Please
know what
come
you
back
think.
next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be something different next time.
Yeah, but I want to hear from people who love Dick Spanner.
Yeah.
So email us podcast@gerryanderson.com and give us your positive thoughts about Dick Spanner because there is a lot to like. We
Yes.
know that.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
certainly we love Terry Adlam.
We
And
do
we
love Terry.
We
and
love Shane Rimmer.
And
we
we
love
love Shane.
Yeah, exactly. And all the team that worked on it.
Yes.
So, but could I request, though, that someone write in with a kind of Spanner-esque review?
Ah, great.
So, you can tell us where you were and make some puns about the location. And you decided to watch the Randomiser Part
people you
2,
met.
another dumb move,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Give us a
Love it.
Spanner-style thing. And then Richard can work on his Shane Rimmer impression and we'll read it out as
And write
Dick
a
Spanner
Dick
next
Spanner
time.
novel.
No, I'm drawing the line there.
All right, all for now, but join us next week for another interview, more news, another randomizer, and more emails from our Podsterons.
Yeah,
can't wait.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
That's a marathon, isn't it?
That was bizarre indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need more coffee?
I do. The coffee kept me going through that, but I need another one now.
I think you might need
Maybe
a fat.
with a whiskey in it.
Yeah, good. See you next week then.
Bye.
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 Cheers.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.